Mat podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2. Yes, we made it to episode 2 of Better Hit the Mat. Not Better Get on the Mat, as I've been calling it everywhere else and on other people's fucking podcasts. So none of their listeners are going to be listening to this right now. We're back after a tidal wave of feedback. As ever, I'm joined by Ryan, Tom, and Travis. I had to think about that then. I forgot his name. Dude, you know what it was? Is American podcasters always say, I am joined with. I'm like, no. That is not the correct grammatical way of saying it. You are joined by.
That's
true. American.
Yeah, even Joe Rogan does that. We're not talking about him again. So, yeah, we can't thank you enough. We had amazing response to our first episode. We can't believe it, but people actually seem to quite like it. We had quite a lot of feedback on the socials. I mean, Ryan, you were running most of that. Like, yeah, how are we doing?
Well, I mean, honestly, the analytics are through the roof, not to get too nerdy, but the organic support so far from the DDPY community, from our friends, from the people that we've done live classes with, the feedback is literally just off the charts. We've managed, I'll jinx it now, we've managed to hit 400 views on YouTube without a single thumbs down. So let's compare those.
Yeah, we're going to get 20 straight away.
There's time. Where's Aaron Johnson right now?
Yeah, somewhere Aaron is doing it right now, guaranteed. That's how I know it must have been okay, because Aaron didn't thumbs down.
You know what that tells us, though, is that we haven't yet reached anybody in the wider public, because we'd have got some.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise, it's been absolutely incredible. You know, it feels like every day somebody new reaches out and says something about listening, or we had somebody reference that it made them, they finished watching the episode and the first thing they did was get out and roll out the mat and hit it. And they're like, I haven't done that in 3 months.
Awesome.
And so as far as I'm concerned, that's as high of a praise as you can really get.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that.
There.
Doesn't get better than that. We could just shut the episode down right now.
Yeah, job done.
Yeah. You know what the best compliment in the world was?
If you reach one person, right? We did it. We did it, boys.
That's true.
Success.
We did it. My favorite of all of them, Ryan's mom. Those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys. Best compliment of all time. Hello, Ryan's mom.
You seem nice too.
Three nice guys.
Leading up to episode 1, she texted me. She's like, so where can I find your podcast? Or I think she called it your video show. And I was like, well, it's not out yet. It'll be out Thursday. I'll send you a link. So when it premieres, I send her the link. I get nothing, literally nothing back. No, even like, oh, thanks, I'll check it out. I call her Friday. So what'd you think? She goes, oh yeah, I did watch that. Those 3 guys seem really nice.
Best
and I was like,
ever.
well,
but you were still a typical asshole.
I like it.
Yeah, I said, they are. Thanks.
I can't wait to get
And
my
then
Christmas
she's
card
like,
this year.
Yeah. What did she tell me? She told me, she goes, I tried to comment, but it said I had to sign in, and I wasn't sure if I was being hacked. I was like, okay, Mom.
No, that's good. That is good. Stay like that.
That is good. Smart move.
Yes.
We all have a parent who just clicks yes to everything, and then we have a 3 times yearly visit to clean malware off of computers. So that's a good approach. I mean, it seems very self-indulgent. Like, were we going to read any of these feedbacks out? I know a few people reached out to us as individuals, but I think just speaking in general terms, it was just nice to recognize that people sent feedback.
On a positive note, though, this week we are going to be bringing on a guest.
Yes.
Tom is going to give at least the introduction into what will eventually become his nutrition segment. We got to come up with some kind of fancy name. Don't eat that shit, Dr. Tom.
That might be it.
Runner.
That might be it. Don't put that shit in your mouth by Dr. Tom.
I was thinking something along the lines of Dr. Tom plays the hits and then change it to Dr. Tom stops the shits. but I just don't think it's catchy enough.
If anybody out there listening has a clever title, send it to us. Let us know what you think.
Fantastic idea. Yes, we will gladly crowdsource the segment name for
We will.
Tom's nutrition segment. That would be
And
amazing.
There will be a faceplate before the segment, and what the best one, as embarrassing it is to me, we'll put it up there.
And I will design the shit out of it. We'll make
That
it
you
look
will.
good.
You will.
So did we have, like, we asked for feedback. People obviously comment through social media. They sent us personal messages, things like that, which obviously you don't think, well, that you want that read on the show. So we say, send us an email if you've got feedback and we'll read it out on the show. Did we get any such emails?
We had a few people. I mean, it's honestly most of the emails to the inbox. Jason Sparks was the first person to send us an email that was not a social media confirmation. So that's pretty cool. And it was nothing but support, just talking about how hyped he was for the show, how, he was excited to see us all, because he's worked out with us all individually, and how cool it was to just see us all interact with one another. And then there was one of your student spots. I think he's in the UK. He reached out. I don't know if it was Wolfrig. I can't remember the life of me. I have to check
Wolfrig via Pal in Norway initially. And then he joined the classes a little while after Pal had to stop his. So,
got you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he emailed, and so it was nice to hear from him. I mean, it was just everybody's just been ridiculously positive. It made me want to jump right back on and make another episode. Honestly.
Yeah, do one every day. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get that kind of love, it's always great.
Awesome.
So,
that's true.
So just want to encourage, like, if you want to ask a question of Tom and his nutrition segment, if you want to ask Travis why his internet's so shit, if you just want to ask a thing about a move and get an instructor's input on something, please email, let us know that way. I mean, you can do it through social media, but ask us questions. The other thing is in terms of feedback, when I feedback to a podcast or something, I tend to shoot them an audio comment. Obviously, we've got the facility to play that out. This is a video podcast as well. If you want to send us a piece to camera, try and keep it under 2 minutes if you can. But we'll gladly, the mainframe here in the middle, you see, the BTTR mainframe, that is a little channel where we can play clips, audio, pictures, whatever else. So anything you send us, we can put up there, and we're doing this little intro bit. So we want it to be a community show. We want that kind of feedback, and we want to give you a platform to say stuff.
So this week's guest is the Queen of Misfits. She hails from the House of Fortune. It is Miss Sarah Fortune.
Woo!
Woo!
So thank you for joining us. I would be presumptuous to introduce you. I think we should ask you to introduce yourself, if that's okay.
Okay. Hi. I'm Sarah Fortune, L2 instructor from London, Ontario, Canada. When I'm not being a DDPY instructor, I'm an Egyptologist, and I run a couple businesses. So teaching DDPY, nutrition coaching, and some other stuff on the side.
Awesome.
And,
Drug dealing?
Yeah, I do
Nice.
drug dealing. That's, that's how I make my main cash.
She also murders for
That's
hire. I don't know if you know that, but
I murder melons. Giant.
murders
Vampires.
We saw the
Melon
melons.
murderer.
You ruined it, Sarah. Travis was really excited to ask you about melons.
Oh, sorry. Well, melon's dead now. I ate most of the melon.
Nice.
For those who don't know, you're going to have to give this context now, somebody.
That was a huge melon.
Right?
Today I'm at the beach with a melon, a giant melon. We're gonna get into plank and I'm gonna tell you about this melon. 130 seconds, so come on, just get into your little plank. All right guys, this melon here, as you can see, it's bigger than my head.
Biggest melon ever.
You should have kept it around for a couple of workouts.
I should have, but
I mean, you went and named it and everything.
oh, it has a name. Its name is a musket. That's what the girls named it that I bought it from. So I told them I wouldn't change its name. It would stay. So Musket's dead now.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah.
I saw the video with the melon like several times, but I was never in a position where I could have the audio on. So it was you doing a plank next to a melon is all I saw. Was there more to the story?
Right? Yeah. So I just bought this giant melon at my farmer's market, and they like were very convincing that I needed to buy this melon. I had zero intention of buying a melon because I don't even really like melons. But these girls were very convincing. They told me a great story. They said it was the biggest melon they've ever seen, it's the biggest one they've ever grown on their property. And it went on for like 5 minutes. And I was like, man, how am I going to get out of here without buying the melon? I have to buy it now, right? I was like totally like car salesman. They sold me the melon. So I was like, all right, melon. And
yeah, I was
like,
going to say, are they on commission?
Right? They must have been. These girls are like teenagers too, so they did a really good job. So I was like, all right,
you got
guys.
upsold on produce by high schoolers.
I did. I totally did. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take the melon home. I'm like, I'm going to the beach today, so I'm going to take the melon to the beach with me. And they're like, really? I'm like, yep, I'm going to take a picture at the beach with the melon. So they were
you kind of face on it and call it Wilson.
I know, that's what they said. They're like, have a face on it. And, I forgot. So, But while I was filming this entire beach scene with the melon, there was like a dude like not far from me who was just watching me because I'm like by myself, camera set up, sitting beside a melon, doing a plank on the beach, talking to the phone, right? So this old dude was just like standing there watching me, just like, what is wrong with this crazy girl? And then I just rolled my melon back into my bag and I left.
She didn't even eat it on the beach.
Didn't even eat it on the beach.
She'd be like there with a few slices watching the sunset over the horizon.
I was really afraid I was going to drop it and smash it too. That was a big fear of mine. But
that guy went home and told his wife about some blonde-haired girl laying next to a melon, talking to her camera for 2 hours, and then getting up and walking away. And then his wife's like, "You're crazy."
Yeah, that's institutionalized now, and it's your fault.
I know. Sorry. I'm sorry, dude on the beach, that I traumatized you.
You've had some awesome spots doing your little plank challenge. You've been in a river, you at the beach, you were on a tree.
Up a tree,
yeah. I'm just looking for anywhere interesting. As I'm walking by, I just like stop, try to set up my phone, and just do it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, once you're up into the 1 minute 20 of plank challenges, you got to mix it up, haven't you? Because it does get boring.
Right? Exactly.
Absolutely.
I started picking metal tracks to longer and longer lengths when I did it, just to try and get the exact. I was going through my iTunes list, looking by duration, going that one, that's 2 minutes. I'll take that one.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, you need some distraction. So it actually distracts me while I'm like sitting there telling you guys a story. I mean, the tree one was kind of hard because I was just staring at a tree, but that one was kind of painful. So I don't know. I need some suggestions. So if anybody wants to send in some suggestions, I will try to satisfy your plank need.
I got one.
Yeah.
Can you do one on the top of a speeding train?
Okay, I'll see what I can do. There was going to be one on top of a porta potty, so
That's a good one.
I mean, it's kind of close, right? It's almost the same thing.
Okay, so when you introduced yourself, the first thing you did, obviously, is you introduced yourself as an L2 instructor.
Right.
Yeah. How long have you been? Just because a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with you. Obviously, quarantine's allowed a lot of us to get to know the instructors a lot more than we ever would. I mean, I worked out with you at last year's summit, and it was awesome. But outside of that, there's probably no chance of me ever coming across working out in a class with you. So how long have you been doing it? What do you do? Like, what makes your style of DDPY a little bit different?
So I've been doing it. I've been teaching for about 3 years now. And I guess my class is a little different because it's an older demographic. So we have a lot of people on chairs, a lot of more the senior age, but we play metal music. So our oldest is 76 years old. And we are rocking out to metal music. So
nice.
No one in the class would ever listen to this at home, but when they come to class, they become a misfit and they get into it and they love it and we do it. And the music fits perfectly with what we're doing. I don't know. I just like our class is a lot of fun. There's a lot of talking and giggling in our class. We're not like that straight up quiet class. I encourage everybody to talk to each other. Tell me about your cats. Tell me about your day. Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it. It's cool, right? So I really built up my class to build friendships. So it wasn't that class where you just come in every week and you leave and you don't talk to anybody, you don't know anybody. I want people to really get to know each other and really build up some friendships and build up a little community. So I think we were able to do that. And yeah, so that's kind of what makes it a little different.
Now, is that the class that you do at the Wrestling Academy, or is that something separate?
So that's a different class completely. So this is my regular, like my normal class. So at the Wrestling Academy, I'm teaching at Tyson Duke's Wrestling Factory. So I'm teaching a bunch of up and coming wrestlers, and I'll go in there, teach them a class for about an hour, and then Tyson will hammer on them and get them into the ring and just murder them after I murder them for an hour. So when I go in there,
it'd be the other way around,
right? It could be. I know. So I'll go in there and I'll be like, Tyson, how long do you want me to do this for? He's like, oh, just do it. Like, just do it till they're dying. Like, just kill them, just murder them. So like, okay.
I'm curious, what was the initial response when you walk into a wrestling academy? And obviously you're going to have some female wrestlers, but you are smaller female, lead instructor. You come in, and were they undervaluing what you're going to bring, or like any kind of like?
So.
You think they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like when we did that first initial couple classes, they were like quite surprised because I'm pretty quiet. But when I put on my outdoor voice, like I'm screaming at them, and again, throw on the metal music, makes everybody, like, oh, okay, what's happening here? First of all, this girl doesn't look like she listens to this music. Second of all, she's like screaming at me now. And yeah, so they were pretty dead the first couple times. They still are. I mean, especially now they've been on quarantine and not everybody was doing it. So the last couple of weeks I've been in there, they've been struggling. But
how often do you go?
Yeah. How often? Every week.
How often do you teach? Yeah.
Once a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then before there's a wrestling match, I'll go there and then we'll get into the ring and we'll do a sequence in the ring. And
Nice.
the sequence we're doing is one that Dallas gave me directly. So we talked on the phone. He's like, all right, this is what I do before a match. This is what I want you to do with them before a match. And that's what we do. We do his personalized warm up before they hit
That's
the ring.
amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot of fun.
And that right there adds so much legitimacy to what you're bringing, because it's like, it's Dallas's program. Okay, obviously. But now you're like, okay, guys, this was tailored for all of you. And without me here, you wouldn't have this. So it's like, and there's so much of wrestling it's all about insider knowledge, who you know, or what, who you've worked with. And so it's like that right there automatically, even if they had some reservations, they're kind of like, oh, well, this girl knows her shit. We should probably listen. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and the
So-
other thing, this allows the embargo on talking about wrestling on this show to be lifted for a temporary period.
So I got to put Sarah over here. Sarah, you command a room more than most other instructors do. So last year at Summit, we take all these group classes, right? So we have 3 or 4 instructors at a time that teach these classes, right? So your class, like everything was kind of ho-hum, done. When you hit the stage, I saw people literally like with anxiety, like this girl is going to kill me. And I'm looking, I'm like, that little girl is going to kill us. And guess what the fuck happened? Oh my God, it was awesome. So you earned my respect. We didn't know each other before then, and we met shortly after that. But I'll never forget that moment, because that was the first impression I had. Was I just remember the people next to me? They were all kind of whispering, like, "Oh, there she is," and I was like, "Oh, like this is gonna happen. This is gonna be real," and it was real. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
Just for context, the reason that was ho hum done is because I introed that workout.
Did you really? That was you?
Oh,
Oh,
you did.
No wonder.
it's
No wonder I was bored.
because Boz didn't break the rules.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
I've got a
not
reputation.
supposed to do that. I was supposed to be doing like a table sequence, and I was like, no, I'm gonna bring something a little more fun. So we did the ass burner.
Yes, you did.
That, and so I broke the rules. I think like Boz was a little apprehensive when I like sent what I was gonna do, because you're like, oh, or did you clear this with Hayden? And I was like, Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Who?
I was the new boy. Come on, cut me some slack.
Right? It's okay. He was like
You know-
new. He was like, oh, it's like that's okay. I'm like, oh, it's cool. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, it's all right.
That was so much fun.
It's so funny that you say that, Tom, because that's how people, when Stephen David took the stage, everyone's
Right?
like, oh, this guy's really laid back. He's super chill. And he's like, all right, guys, step on up. Let's fucking get into it. And then, like he did. And like we're in Road Warrior 3, and he's like, well, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm feeling froggy. And he's like, let's do some crunches. And he just starts throwing all this shit in there.
Right?
And I'm looking to the guys left of me and right of me, and they're just like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, that's fucking Stephen David.
Oh my God.
Bit of insight on that. So we shared each other's segments before we went to do Summit. So I got a chance to practice 3 times before we went. The first time I did our workout, I didn't make it to the end. And Sarah's section at the end damn near fucking killed me. Like, the third time I did it, because what you don't realize is you teach your bit and you think, yeah, okay, I'm done. No, you then have to go and stand on the stage at the back in front of everybody and complete the rest of the workout. So like Stephen's bit, I'm falling all over the place. Sarah's bit, my glutes are on fire. I'm like, I can't do my legs anymore. It came off on the day though. Thankfully, it was an amazing experience. It was so cool.
It was honestly, it was my favorite routine. I know everybody was super into the Dallas and Lexi one, but that one right there, that's when I was just like, that routine that you guys all led made me want to sign up for certification, because I'm like, it's something that you don't necessarily find on the app, and it was a little bit different of a flavor, and it was like refreshing, because you can get burnt out on the same 15, 20 moves. So it was just awesome.
Wow, thank you so much. That's like amazing. Like that's amazing to hear. Thank you.
Well, just to kind of piggyback on that, Sarah, I've had loads of people tell me that they loved your class when you did it for me. So I really appreciate that. And they're asking, when are you going to come back?
Oh, thank you. Anytime. Yeah, I'm more than happy to come by anytime.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So Sarah, how did you find DDPY of all things? So
okay, I don't know if you guys have this store in the States, but it's called As Seen on TV.
They sell it at Walgreens.
It like pops up in the mall around Christmas, and it like they sell like a bunch of junk that they try to sell you on infomercials on TV. Right? So we got like an ad in the paper, and in it was like the DVDs. And so I was like, I said to my boyfriend, I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, Dallas Page is doing yoga. This is weird. This is kind of hilarious. And Christmas rolled around, and there they were in my stocking. And yeah, so we busted it out the next day, Boxing Day, and I almost died. So we're doing the Diamond Dozen, and I almost died. And I was like, wow, this is not a joke. Like this is serious. And then just doing that, I realized like I knew I was out of shape. This is the thing, like people always think, oh, you're so small, you're skinny, like you must be in shape. And they don't realize that doesn't mean anything. Like I was in horrible shape. Yeah, like I'm the same size I was then as I am now, but I was in horrible shape, and I couldn't even like run a block or like climb a mountain or whatever, right? Couldn't go paddleboarding for like hours. So just doing that, I realized, okay, man, like I need to do something. So I just started doing it. And then people were asking like, what are you doing? I started talking about it all the time, and people wanted to know where there's an instructor. So I was like, man, I should just do this. I got to get certified. So that's just kind of how it all happens.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did it take once you started? How long did you decide to become an instructor? How long was it?
It wasn't long. It was only probably about 3-4 months, because so I got the DVDs, I burned them onto my computer, and then when I was over in Egypt, I started teaching like all my friends over there, and I had like a little class going on in my little room. So there's only room for 2 people, but I had 2 people doing it in my room with me. And then from there, I was giving them pointers and like kind of helping them with it. And I was like, oh, okay, like I could do this. So
we should make I want to get a map, right? And then the more people we talk to, we want to start putting pins in the map for where in the world has DDPY been practiced. Because I've done it in Corfu, Germany. You've been to Egypt and done it.
Yeah.
There's more places than that as well.
Yeah, so I have some great pictures of teaching outside in Mongolia. I was teaching our tour guide, and we're just like in this big valley in the back. There's like a whole bunch of like wildlife. There's like horses and
Yaks,
tons of yaks. Yeah, there's lots of yaks in the background. So yeah, everywhere I go, I take a pretty crazy trip every year, and every year I teach the people that are traveling with me. I'm like, all right, guys, this time, be here, and I'm doing DDPY. So if you want to join me, let's do it. And it's usually really good because we're usually
awesome.
sitting on sitting in the car for a long time, or climbing stuff or crawling into things, and it's quite helpful at the end of the day.
Do you have
You're literally the first person. Oh, go ahead, boss.
Okay. Do you have Who on your playlist? As it HU, the Mongolian throat singing metal band?
No, I don't.
Because that would have been an awesome soundtrack for that location.
That would have been. That totally would have been.
I'll share some with you later.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Like, that's literally the first time I've heard infomercial as the reason. But I mean, it's, I guess technically the Arthur video is an infomercial, but you're literally referencing as seen on TV. It's like you could have bought an oven mitt and a yoga program.
Right?
Yeah. I went to the party basement and I got it. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
Sarah,
That's incredible.
Sarah, with that said, how long, when you had your L1, how long did you have your L1 before you decided to go L2, and what made you pull that trigger and go to L2?
So it was probably just over a year, because the L2, I believe it was announced at the summit, and I signed up as soon as it was available. Because I'm just that type of person that I want to go to the next level on everything. So, I mean, as soon as level 3, 4, 5 are ready, I'll be doing them. Like, I always need to advance, and I always need to challenge myself.
Okay, so we talked a lot, got really serious. Let's go a little bit more into what might be one more serious question here. So obviously, if you're working with elderly people, that's probably going to be some of it. But what do you think is your biggest victory as an instructor thus far?
Probably just being able to talk in front of people, like to get in front of a camera, talk to people. People tell me all the time, like, how much I've changed in that aspect. Just being able to teach. Like, before, I would be absolutely horrified. Like, if you asked me to do this, I'd be like, hell no, there's no way I'm getting in front of camera. No way I can't talk. I'm horrible. But now I'm able to just get up and talk, and I could talk in front of like 300 people, and it wouldn't even like phase me now. It's just natural. So I think that's like actually one of the biggest growth areas for me, because I don't have like this super amazing transformation story. But now I can get up in front of a classroom of 300 people and talk to them about anything. I mean, I can talk about a melon for a minute and 30 seconds. So, I think I could entertain a group of people. So, yeah. And I was just thinking that the other day, because I was thinking back to, like, I don't know if you guys had to do speeches when you were in like grade school. You had to stand up in front of the class and write a speech and give it to your classmates. And that was like the most horrific part of school for me. Like, I would just, any way I could get out of it, I would, but you never could, right? Like, you had to make it up no matter what. And I just remember that feeling was just so like, oh my God, the worst thing on earth. And now I can just do it. So it's a big thing.
I always deflected those things with humor. And the worst was my A-level biology. And I had to give 2 presentations. One was on the Golgi apparatus, which in one of my textbooks described it as a stack of pancakes. So that lunchtime, we made a stack of pancakes and threw them at people during the presentation. The worst one I did, though, was we did one on kidney transplantation. So I actually bought some lamb kidneys, and I built a small catapult device in this thing, and we simulated surgery on it was a chicken wire sheep. It was made of chicken wire wrapped in cotton wool, black tape around its face. And we did a kidney transplant on a fake sheep. And then when we spoke about immune rejection for the kidney, I pulled this catapult so the kidney leapt out of the sheep onto the table. We thought this was fucking hilarious. So we do this to my biology class. Everyone in the room's face was just like, the fuck are these guys doing? Just silent, not a titter. And the worst thing is we had to like bring it in the morning. It'd been sitting in a room all morning. So the time we had class in the afternoon, these kidneys reeked.
Oh God.
Oh my God. I would have been laughing hysterically. That kind of stuff, that makes me laugh. So yeah.
Well, that's because you're metal and no one else in our class was metal.
Just two of us. Like dead things, that's awesome.
Okay, so we've had like 15 references to metal. Obviously, the group you run is Muscles for Misfits. You're a big Misfits fan.
Yeah.
I got to know, what do you think of Graves era Misfits?
So are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Oh, we swear all
Absolutely
the time.
fucking not.
Nope.
Nope.
He is the biggest fucking piece of shit cat turd ever that fucking roamed this earth. First of all, Michael Graves is not the Misfits. Okay, that is a cover band.
Sarah, don't hold back. Tell us what you honestly feel.
That's a cover band. The Misfits is Danzig. Then Danzig left. Misfits done. We're done. Okay. Michael Graves, cover band. Now we have the real Misfits back in effect with Danzig as the lead singer, as it should be. Yes. So
you honestly like nothing off of, you don't like anything off of American Psycho?
No.
Nothing?
No, nothing. No. Don't even be like, oh, but this one song. No. No.
Okay, I won't, because I do. I think they're good.
Don't tell me. I'm gonna know
fight.
and I can't look at you the same way now.
That's true.
No, honestly, they are significantly when Graves took over, they became more of a pop band. You know, they really did. They wrote some really great pop songs. It is a completely different band. But
how old
I can
is
respect
Danzig?
I'd rather Britney Spears myself. Like
it kind of is Britney Spears. It's Britney Spears with some thrash guitar.
I think that's what it is. Like Britney Spears is better than Michael Graves.
How old is Danzig? Does he still have that voice?
Oh my God, his voice is still, it's perfect. So I saw him last year. And that's what people always say, like, oh, he's lost his voice. But he has adjusted his voice to what he sings now. So even, you know, he knows how to adjust it, and it's still liquid gold. He's got that liquid gold voice. Yeah. Liquid gold.
Speaking of that, I think Ryan might have a question for you. Speaking of Danzig.
I'll let Tom go first. Go ahead, Tom.
Who's who's taller, you or Glenn Danzig?
I think that we're equal, so I think we make the perfect pair.
I love Glenn Danzig, don't get me wrong, but when I first saw him in person, I looked up and I saw this giant muscular man, but he was 5 foot. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
They do that in the Mother video.
I think he might be like 1 inch or 2 inches taller than me, and I'm pretty short. I'm like 5 feet.
A lot of low camera angles, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of camera angles, that segues perfectly because you know what else Danzig's adjusted to recently? He's actually directed a horror film. And
really?
I was like, hey, that looks really cool. It's called, I think, Verotica.
It's called Verotica.
Yeah. And I was looking through Facebook today, and one of my trusted horror podcasting compadres had just attempted to watch said movie and effectively rage quit out of disgust after 15 minutes. I'm like, no, I wanted it to be good.
No, you have to get to the third story. You got to get to the third story.
Have you seen it?
Buckle in, just do it. Just like get through. Third
I'm
story.
gonna watch it.
There's blood everywhere. There's blood for no reason. Just blood spraying. It's great. Yeah.
I'll watch it. I mean, you see my posters, yeah?
Okay, you gotta go for it. Yeah.
So you have an undying love.
It's one of those movies that's so horrible. It's great. It's like instant. I think like a lot of people are calling it like instant cult classic because it's so ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous.
Sorry, this one here, you probably can't see it. This poster is for The Greasy Strangler, which is one of my favorite films ever.
Film.
It's amazing because it's so bad. Film. It's brilliant.
Yep. You're gonna love Veronica. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
The first like 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, "Oh, am I watching a porn right now?" And then it moves in. So there's a starter for you.
Hey guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna watch that movie. So I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Later, Tom.
I'm out of here. Bye.
Hey, Sarah, with that said, if you had to pick a playlist, top 5 songs, what would your top 5 songs of your playlist be?
Oh, wow. Man, I don't know about that. Twist the Cane is going in there for sure. That's like one of my all-time favorites, but that's tough, man. I can't do that. I can't even do that.
Okay, so when you teach at the Wrestle Academy, what's your opener?
So it's just on shuffle. It usually starts off with a Rob Zombie song of some sort, because there's a lot of Rob Zombie on there, because he just has so many albums. So yeah, it usually starts off with something from Rob Zombie. Yeah,
that's why he did, because he was on my PC playlist. Was like I had 3 tracks, and one of them was Zombie.
Yeah. So actually, that playlist is connected to my regular class playlist now.
Is it?
If I don't hit shuffle, it starts off with our playlist.
Wicked.
So yeah.
Excellent.
So guys, I don't know if you know this, but Travis's classes doesn't start with Rob Zombie. It starts with Rob Thomas, but just almost the same.
Almost.
To be fair, though, it's the Rob Thomas song with Santana, so it has a little bit of respect, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because his instruction is smooth.
Well, I was gonna use Tom's Justin Bieber, but I don't want to give him upset.
Oh my god. Yeah. You guys can.
He loves that baby. He's got it on repeat for some reason. I don't know. It's the whole workout.
All right, Sarah. So I got one more for you. So you obviously love Danzig, and you're a big fan of DDP. Who's winning in a fist fight?
Okay, so here's my goal in life: is I want to teach Danzig DDPY.
Wow.
Okay, so that's my big goal, because Danzig is a huge wrestling fan. He loves wrestling. He's been backstage for a lot of wrestling shows, WWE, whatnot, right? He also used to do some sort of, not jiu-jitsu, but training with Bruce Lee's ex-trainer. So when, like back in the day, you guys saw, like, he used to be ripped, right?
Oh, yeah, he was Jack. Why?
Yeah.
in a Santo.
Wait, Jack, are we going to a commercial? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he was jacked. He was jacked. So I want to get Danzig jacked, but I need a little help with that from DDP. So I need some stuff being sent my way to send Danzig so I can get him jacked and get him on the program. If you know what I'm saying.
You don't want them fighting then.
I might be able to help you with that.
Yeah, but for real, if they threw down, who are you putting money on?
Wow. I don't know, man. He's like, jeez.
We're not going to show this to Dallas or Danzig.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually, I'm actually calling Danzig right after this.
I know,
podcast.
like who?
Yeah. Hey, Danzig, it's me,
like,
Dr. Tom.
That Dallas can beat you, or
I would argue Danzig could probably win because, like, the diamond cutter, that it's not very far to the mat, so it's not going to hurt too much, is it?
True.
It's like when a baby falls, they don't get hurt.
That's a small distance.
That was harsh. Sorry.
It's true, but it's okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it depends on the surroundings, the situation. Are they in the wrestling room? Are they backstage at a concert? Like, is he on stage? Is Dallas taking photos of him from the crowd? Because if that's happening, Dan's is going to for sure kick his ass because he gets
is that a no-no?
Is there a folding chair? You know,
right? Is there a table? Like, yeah, what's going on?
Is that a thing? Danzig's not a photography fan, like while performing?
Yeah, so
Sean Penn,
you're not
pictures.
allowed to take photos while he's performing, and if you do, he will call you out, and he will call the crowd onto you. So yeah, you need to not do that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
well, I kind of like that. Those are the last few gigs I've been to. All I see most of the gigs through the back of everyone else's mobile phone while they record the damn thing. And it's like, unless your phone's got the most amazing mic attenuation, it's going to sound like shit. It's going to look like shit. Yeah. Just watch the damn concert. So
exactly.
And more than likely, you're never going to watch that video again. So just
exactly.
Yeah,
and
because you're not capturing the atmosphere.
View, right? You're blocking everybody's view. It sucks. I don't know why people do that. Put your camera away. Enjoy the moment. Rock out. Sing along.
See, that's kind of weird because every time I attend one of Thomas's workouts, I actually record his workout with my phone just to show everybody I was
You
there.
should.
He does.
Yeah.
It's like
just
recording fireworks.
His
Yeah,
wife watches him
exactly.
every night.
That's what it is.
Everybody
She's a
wants
big
to
fan.
watch the replay of
She's a big fan.
fireworks.
I felt so stupid this 4th of July. I was recording fireworks, and when I was done, I was like, that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done in my life.
Right.
I felt so bad
Right.
for myself.
Who's gonna watch that?
I was just like, why did I just do that? That was crazy.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
God.
Well, Sarah, what's the future for Muscles for Misfits? What do you got going on now? What do you think is going to happen now in the next few years? Where do you think you're going to take it?
Well, doing some nutrition stuff, doing nutrition coaching, kind of pairing that up, transitioning to more online classes for sure, working with the wrestlers some more, hopefully expanding that, taking it like wherever I travel, right? Like just taking it worldwide, trying to just get it out there more. Yeah, just trying to introduce it to new people everywhere. Definitely want to have a retreat of some sort in the future.
I like that. I like that idea.
And
Yeah,
not
I like
like
that
your
idea.
typical, obviously yoga retreat. There's none of that like meditation for 6 hours and crap like that. No, we're having pool parties and we're having, drinking contests and
We're gonna have a hell of a recording.
and he'll be there and he's gonna be there.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a hell of a recording at the first workshop for the Better Hit the Mat podcast.
Right.
That's great. Featured guests.
Yeah. So some sort of crazy retreat, like, something like if we could have like a live band, get the pit going, do some DDP, like all that. Yeah. Something like that.
I wonder if Fozzy is
You're
busy.
talking about a festival.
Yeah, like Fozzy, that'd be cool, right? So
We know they're willing to play in front of a crowd in the middle of a pandemic, so we're good.
It's true. It'll happen.
let's do it.
So you
Yeah,
got
so I
Fozzy,
guess kind of like a
Danzig.
mini Fozzy cruise, but just like on land and with my closest friends.
Did you join Dallas on stage at the latest Rockin' Jericho cruise, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Oh,
you
cool.
and like Darby. Back to wrestling. Sorry, Boz. Darby Allin was up there with you guys, right?
Yeah.
I know who that is.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Because
that was awesome.
Stage, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, Darby, you go beside Sarah." And I was like, "What? Like, this is so cool." So I'm just trying to be all cool, like, yeah, cool. Like, yeah.
I like skeletons too, bro.
Whatever.
I bet that he was thinking the same thing. He's like, oh man, check this
Yeah,
out. I'm with Sarah Fortune.
Sarah Fortune. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And
Isn't that
I
the
got guys, Darby Allin, he was doing that workout in those skinny jeans.
I don't know how he does anything in those skinny jeans. Jesus
Right?
Christ.
Anybody.
It was crazy, but then he did at the end. He was like, "I'm never wearing these again to work out." I was like, because when he first walked up, I was like, "How are you going to do this? Like, you're going to die. Like, that's horrible."
Probably should just put a period at again. I should never wear these again. Not working out.
I love it.
Hey Sarah, this is off subject, but if I was to Ontario, what would be the first thing or the most important thing you think we should do?
So I'm going to take you hiking because obviously, if you've been watching my videos, we got some amazing. You're not watching my videos, Boz? Why not?
No, I can't do hiking. That was what that was for. You're not taking me hiking.
I'm watching my videos.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we got some amazing trails around here. I'll be posting a video of a waterfall. I'm doing a little plank in front of a waterfall. We got some really, really beautiful scenery around here. Of course, I'm going to take you paddleboarding. We're going to go paddleboarding. We're going to go to the beach. We got some nice beaches here.
Love it.
It's we got everything here. Like, it's all right here in my backyard. I live an hour away from multiple beaches, different beaches, Lake Erie, Lake Huron. So lots to do here for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we can do it. Tom will give me a piggyback all the way around. That's fine. We can do
Okay.
that.
Just jump right on my back.
You can do that.
I'll wear you like a backpack.
Yeah, I
That's
got
it. Yeah.
You've seen his runner-up pictures, right?
He's number 2.
He can carry.
Number 2 in the contest, but number 1 in our hearts.
I'm pretty sure I'm number 2 in your hearts. I'm pretty sure of that.
Hey, well, I'll just finish it up with my bird legs. I'm not carrying anybody. How about that, Tom?
Sarah, there was one last thing I wanted to just run by, because the thing of you being an Egyptologist is just the most, like, you talk to people like, what do you do for a living? I'm a lawyer. I work in a gas station. Like, no one says Egyptologist. How do you come to be that, coming from Canada? Like, just give us a bit of background, and what do you do?
Okay. So basically, I've been interested in Egypt since I was like 3 years old. So when my Nana used to babysit me, I'd be like sitting there on the floor reading all her books about Egypt because she was really into it. So I was like fascinated with Tutankhamun since like the age of, as soon as I could open up the book. So me and my Nana, we went to Egypt. And when I came home from Egypt, I was like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be an Egyptologist. So I went to Manchester University, actually, for Egyptology, became Egyptologist. And I just ended up going over there and working at the Cairo Museum, just volunteering at the Cairo Museum. And from there, I ended up on the Polish team, which is the team I'm on currently. And I've been on that team for 11 years. Wow. And I work at the Temple of Hatshepsut in Luxor, Egypt. So if you ever watch the Discovery Channel, it's the temple that comes out of the rock, out of the mountain, and it has like all the stairs and the ramp up it. And I work at the very top of the ramp, and my job is inventory. So basically, I've done some digging, I've done everything, but my main job is inventory. So every single artifact we find or that has been found in the past, because I'm back cataloging everything, I get to touch. I get to play with, I get to look at, I get to,
awesome.
Photos, measure, whatever. And I've created this huge like computer database of everything. So I get to play with everything from like the little tiniest little bead to full-size mummies. So we have lots of mummies on our site as well. So I get to clean them up, wrap them up.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's like, it's a crazy world. It's like a alternate universe for me, because when I'm here, it doesn't seem real. And when I'm there, this life doesn't seem real. So it's like, I like have 2 separate lives. So, but I go.
Can I ask you a question from 5-year-old Tom?
Yeah.
So 5-year-old Tom's asking you a question. What does a mummy smell like?
Okay, so it depends if I have the mummy in the sun or not. If I don't, it just kind of smells a little musty, like a basement, kind of like basement. If you have the mummy in the sun, you're gonna start to smell like the spices that were used for the embalming ceremony.
Oh, wow.
So you're gonna actually start to, like, as it heats up, you're gonna start to smell that. So everything.
Are you saying it smells better when it's warm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's freaky.
That's
like,
blowing my mind.
It's like bread.
Exact
like
opposite of
baking bread. It's better.
I love it.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, there's no squidgy bits left, is there? So
No, it's like they're incredibly heavy. So the first time I picked up a full body, I was like shocked how heavy it was, because they look so frail and delicate, but they are strong. They're rock hard because they're like leather, and because they still, they have like all their bones, obviously, so they're quite heavy. So
yeah, it's a leather bag full of bones covered in bandage.
Exactly. It really is. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but the best thing about a mummy, if you ever get to see one like super up close, is always check out its eyelashes. Incredible. Just the detail like on their fingers, like you can see their fingertips, you can see their fingerprints, their nails, like just those things are just the coolest things are about a mummy to me. Like, I'm fascinated by them. Love them.
That's amazing. I have to say, of all that's the coolest job of anyone I've ever spoken to, I think.
I agree.
Most definitely.
It's a lot of fun.
Tom's gonna quit his job and start studying Tutankhamun now.
So that's my announcement today. Is that I quit my job and I moved to Egypt.
Quit my job.
And I'm gonna study L2 on the top of the highest temple in
Giza.
You totally can. Yeah.
As we wrap this up, is there anything that you want to plug? Anything you want to let our, well, actually hundreds of listeners? That's weird, right?
Hundreds.
To let our listeners know.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands.
Not yet. We'll see. Once we get Danzig on board, thousands.
Holy guys, it's blowing up.
And a few thumbs down on YouTube, then we've really made it. Yeah.
Well, that's probably the Michael Graves fans because I just offended them. Sorry. But,
well, you hadn't really made it.
They're gonna come in droves.
True
All
haters.
tens of them are gonna come out of the woodwork.
yeah. Sorry, gross guys. Yeah, stay away from me.
So is there anything you want to plug?
So there's going to be some big things coming up. So you need to watch Muscles for Misfits. Obviously, if you haven't joined my page, then you're probably not cool. So you should join it. And that's where the announcements are going to come up. I'm just kind of keeping things quiet because I'm working on some stuff right now, working with somebody, and going to get some cool stuff going on soon enough. Getting some online workouts back so you guys can do the Vampire Slayer with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I got to definitely put you over for that one. So from a dynamic resistance standpoint, the fact that you figured that out, that was awesome.
It's
totally awesome.
it's a dynamic resistance squat that also works your triceps, forearms, biceps,
shoulders,
traps.
Shoulders.
Yeah.
Abs, everything.
Well,
everything.
yeah.
And has the coolest name in the program.
Right?
And
So
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out to Rose Campbell. She named it. We had a contest on my page. And Rose Campbell, she is also an Egyptologist. She works strictly with mummies. So Rose named it the Vampire Slayer.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, as featured on our international tag team workout the other week. So thank you for that. We got a lot of feedback about that move. So
Excellent.
Yeah, everybody's favorite was the Vampire Slayer. Then it was the guitar solo, and then the Travis's thing was number 3.
Yeah. The guitar solo was awesome. I liked it.
such a
I don't know what you're referencing to my thing, but I'll just go with it.
It's like, let's pick on Travis the most because his internet shit this week and he can't hear half of what
My
we're
internet
saying.
shit.
He can't fight back. He can't fight back.
I'm like, dur, 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 dur.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been an absolute blast having you on. And
So
obviously-
great to have you.
Thank
We-
you for having me, guys.
Thank you, Sarah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, cheers. Huh?
Needless to say, the door's open for any other visits in the
All
future.
right, cool.
I think it's gonna be our little tradition.
Thank you.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wait,
Cheers.
6 minutes for Travis, guys. There it
Shut the
is.
hell up. Cheers.
His drink is 8-bit.
Poor guy.
Wicked. So Sarah's hanging out with us, so we're going to carry on with the show. So we promised this. We're expecting great things, and I have my props ready. We're going to hand over to Tom for his section, which we haven't named yet. If you want to name it, by the way, please email us, give us suggestions, and maybe we'll have a little competition for that. So over to you, Tom.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to introduce myself, just what we're going to bring to the show here. So there's going to be some informational content in the show. The world of fitness and nutrition is just overly complicated. I guess all you guys would agree with me. If I were to Google what is the best diet, or how do I lose fat? How many hits am I going to get on Google? Millions and millions of hits, right? How much of that's going to be useful information? Maybe not so much. So one of the problems with the fitness and nutrition industry is we're constantly being sold something, right? We're either being sold an idea, or more importantly, maybe products. And so what I'm going to do in this segment is I'm going to myth bust a lot of common myths that we come across on the DDP Yoga Facebook page, or my clients bring to me every single week. And what I'm going to do on every episode is I'm going to kind of break down a myth, and we're going to kind of talk it out. We're going to use two things. We're going to use science. We're going to use logic. And unfortunately, in the world of fitness and nutrition, that's not emphasized. It's usually what's the sexiest thing. So if I were to write a book, and I were to write a book about fitness, if I said that book was called eat less and move more. What are my chances of selling that book? 0%, right? But if I name that book, this is the 90-day metabolic fix that's going to burn fat and build muscle without effort, right? Everyone's going to buy that book. And that's what we're being sold in the fitness industry. And unfortunately, I thought you wrote that book, actually. Travis has been selling that book. You wrote that book. But it's the honest to God truth. And it makes me sad. So I actually had a client the other day text me. So I'm always reaching out. If you guys don't know, I do one-on-one coaching with individuals on fitness and nutrition. I'm a certified NSPA sports nutrition coach. I'm a DDPY instructor. I've been studying the human body for the last 20 years. So I have undergraduate degrees in biology, neuroscience, human physiology, and I have my doctorate in optometric sciences. So all my entire life, basically half my life, I've been studying how the body works. So I really, really like to help people break this shit down because it could be way overly complicated. So I had a client the other day and basically said, well, I read this, but Dallas says this. Which one's true? And I was like, okay, well, they're actually both true. And then the client came back a little angrier and said, wait, no. Is it this or is it this? And I again had to say, well, they're both kind of true. And then I got the anger. I got, no. It can't not be this and it can't not be this. It has to be one of the two. So the reality, guys, is in the world of fitness and nutrition, it's not black, it's not white. The majority of the truth is somewhere in the gray area. And we see this in every aspect of our lives, right? We see that majority of the time, balance is usually the answer. So each and every week, we'll go through a myth. Next week or next episode, what I'm going to bring to you guys is the myth. And this is a myth, is what's the best diet? So we're going to kind of go through what, in my opinion, is the best diet, why from a scientific and logical standpoint, that's the truth, as opposed to what we're being sold by all the fitness and nutrition companies. So all you guys, I'm going to help you guys out. If you have any sort of questions. The other thing is if you have any sort of comments that you want to bring, if there's something you don't understand, you can reach out to me individually, or we can go through it in the podcast. If there's something that is just overly confusing in the fitness and nutrition world, we're here to help. So we're going to try to break those things down. Logic and science never goes wrong. So guys, thank you for that little time. Hope that helps people out.
That was awesome. That's exciting. Like real quick, I knew a guy that went on the keto diet and then he got hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
He died because of ketogenic diet. So he had coronary artery disease, which got to his head. He got confused and got hit by a brain. So I hear weird. I hear that this is the sad thing, right? We see this stuff, the DDP face. One of the problems is social media, right? So we see my brother said this, or my friend lost weight doing this. So everybody thinks that's the only way to do it. It's really, really, it's saddening. I see the same things on the DDP Facebook page, and I'm taking a role of all these things. And I can't blame anybody for believing them, because that's all you've been told, right? You keep seeing the same thing over and over and over. The ketogenic diet is a great diet. The paleo diet is a great diet. A vegan diet is a great diet. A carnivore diet can be a great diet. There's all these wonderful options out there, but what the individual has to do is find the one that works best for them. Hint, hint, which is the best diet. And I'll explain exactly why next episode.
Excellent.
But by the way, just to reiterate, that guy died because he was on the keto diet.
Yeah.
Thank you. I tried to tell them. They don't listen. Nobody listens.
It was the artificial sweeteners he was consuming that morning in his coffee.
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes complete sense.
You leave my sweeteners alone.
Leave the sweeteners alone.
I would just totally agree that there's so much out there. It's overwhelming. People don't know what to do, how to do it. Everybody just throws out their opinion. The DDPY page is a great page, but when it comes down to that, you've got a ton of people that have no idea what the hell they're talking about, giving advice to people that they don't know their situation. So it can actually be quite dangerous. You have like a lot of people with no knowledge that are just like, oh, do this, do that, do this, but they don't know the person's background. And without the person's background, you can't really give them that type of advice, especially like some of the serious issues that come up on that page, right? Like some of the things like people have no business giving advice to. And even, we have a doctor in the group and he won't give advice because he says like, I don't know what your background information is. I don't know what you're coming from. I don't know what you're doing. So I think it can become a dangerous situation with people giving advice in these type of groups because they're not certified to give this advice. They don't have any medical background. They don't have any nutrition training. they're just, saying, oh, I saw this on Oprah or I saw this on whatever, right? And like, oh, you should do this and you should buy this, these shakes and you should whatever, you're going to lose 100 pounds if you just drink these shakes or
Shakes.
stuff like, right? Like, not naming any names.
I always try to preface all of my advice. I say, this is what worked for me. And it took me a long time to figure it out. And it was 18 to 36 months of tweaks. And it works and it's sustainable for me. And that may not work for you because it could be a schedule thing. It could be a financial thing. But in the end, it's how I found success. And so I always try to reiterate that. But honestly, people, if you're not giving them the advice of, oh, it's you do this and this will happen, they don't really want to listen. It is what it feels like so much. So I'm hoping that they'll listen to what you're going to bring to the table, Tom, because you're gonna bring far more background and knowledge and more than just a simple Google search, honestly.
And the annoying thing is, Tom just ruined one of my best jokes because I didn't know your educational background, and when you said you're in optometrics, I was like, oh yeah, that just means he went to be a doctor. And I'll just take the page on eyes. Thanks.
that means he can see through all the bullshit.
I was actually a neuroscientist before I was a doctor, so that's the one thing that I can use the most is, I did scientific research, and I can look at a paper and know whether or not the data is good or bad just by how they did the statistics, right? So this is one of the other scary things is you can read any scientific report, and if you're good at statistics, you can sway the data and you can just manipulate the confidence interval to really fit your agenda, right? So there's a lot of times, especially like drug reps come to my office, they tell me the data and I look at it, I'm like, who did this data? Like you can make this sway in any sort of way. So
a marketer,
exactly. So what's more important when it comes to your nutrition and your health in your life, right? Is it a marketer or is it somebody that's, that's been working their entire life to make a certain medication or a certain, there's a lot of people in the science world that are studying nutrition and they're studying fitness every single day of their life. And unfortunately, Dr. Oz holds more, clout than they do. Like, how does that make any sense? So you can find a study, you can cherry pick, but the great thing is, I'll help you guys find meta-analysis. The big thing I want everyone to do is just to be empowered to educate yourself on something else, right? Just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's on Google doesn't mean it's true. What?
Just because it's on some lame-ass podcast. Oh, no, sorry.
Exactly, right? So
I've heard good things about it, though.
I'm never going to say it's this way or that way. The whole idea is, I'll be able to kind of support the data and just show you from a scientific standpoint what the science shows. And that's it. And that's the best way to approach anything is just, again, science, logic. And it's always going to be in the middle, guys. If it's extreme this way, it's usually never the answer to what you're looking for.
Yeah, please tell me you're doing an episode fully on epidemiological studies.
I can if you want me to, for sure, because that gets a little bit hairy sometimes. And
remember, you've got 10 minutes per show, though. So
cram it in.
Give us the Cliff's Notes.
Here, I'll do it right now. Epidemiological studies maybe not be the best way to get your data. Bye. Adulto number 2. If you're getting your information from the Game Changers, the movie on Netflix, goodbye. Done. That's all you need to know.
You just need to watch What the Health. Hey, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I'm super excited for this, Tom. I think this is a huge opportunity for crowdsourcing of questions.
It's just any way we can help. Any way we can help.
Yeah, and I'd probably want to reiterate though, you don't necessarily want questions that are like, this is exactly where I am, what should I do? But no, in a broader sense, we don't want individualized. Tom's not going to write out your health plans or anything like that. But he can try.
Well, he will, but it won't be on Better Hit the Mat.
There you go. Right.
As a certified nutrition coach, I cannot write a diet based on anything that fixes. However, I can lead people in the right direction. So if you do have specific questions, you can contact me for specifics. But Ryan's completely right. If there's just a generalized thing that just you can't get your head around, that's what we're going to be talking about. It's not going to be anything specific. So, I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun.
And when he can't answer it, we'll go to the real expert, the person who studies dead people, because she knows what kills people.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, you just do the opposite.
Don't do that.
But again, a big boss.
You want to wrap it up
is
here,
also
boss?
a certified nutrition coach.
Exactly.
Wicked. Right. So, Ty, we draw this to a close. Again, Sarah, massive thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out to the end as well. You didn't have to do that. Ryan, you know all the links and everything, so I'm going to pass to you. Where do people send their emails, messages, all that shit? And where can they find
we got to do this again. Oh, man. Not going to screw this one up. I didn't write it down on my notes. If you want to send us an email, you can hit us at betterhitthematpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Castbox. If it's available for a podcast, we're on it, except for Pandora, because it takes 6 weeks. And who knew Pandora did podcasts? Nobody.
Pandora was still
going.
going.
Get your podcast.
I didn't even know Pandora was still existing. Exactly.
Yeah, fuck Pandora. So, otherwise, once again, yeah.
Hey, Sarah. Also,
there, guys.
Sarah, you plugged your Facebook page. Do you have a Instagram or Twitter or anything like that you want to plug?
Yeah, Instagram is Sarah House of Fortune, and Facebook is Muscles for Misfits.
Cool.
And MySpace is melons bought at the roadside.
And you can find us through a simple Google search of Hit the Mat podcast or Better Hit the Mat. You don't have to include the BTTR, but we're out there. And thanks to your guys' interaction on all our social media channels, you've really just knocked us up in the Google ranks. We're actually taking over #1 for when you type in Hit the Mat podcast, and that's huge. And it's all because of you guys. 1 episode in, honestly.
Yeah. Can't thank you enough for the feedback and the kind words and everything else. Just makes us want to do more. So,
yes.
That said, we're back in 2 weeks. We'll have another guest. We'll decide whether we spring it on the day or we'll give you advance warning, but we haven't decided that yet. So,
yeah, let us know what you guys think. Do you like us keeping the guests hidden until the rollout, or do you want to know in advance? Because we want to know what you guys like.
You know you're going to get an exactly 50-50 response to that question, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, also too, with that said, let's just directly ask Sarah. Would you rather have people know that you were going to maybe be on, you could announce it instead of it sneaking up on people? Sometimes people like to announce, hey, I'm on a podcast kind of deal. What do you think, Sarah?
No, I think I like the surprise.
I do too.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to start a tally board behind me.
There we go.
Right. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you next time. And as we always say, grab the drink, hit the mat.
And hit the mat.
Mother. Better Hit the Mat podcast.
What it is the video compression rate rendering his moustache. That's the problem.
He's in 220p. The rest is 2180.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1. My friend always does that. Game face. Right.
Yeah.
Should we try again?
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Oh, fuck, I've just lost my feed. Right, hold on.
It's either that or I'm going to have to just fuck off because I can't hear fucking words you guys are saying.
Thank God, because it's been terrible.
Honestly, it's
Travis,
And,
next time you do this, can you just put like a green background in, and then I can just overlay like dinosaurs.
Let's wipe away that shitty attitude, my guy.
There you go.
All right. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the title this week, then, Boz? Because I was thinking, what the fuck is an Egyptologist would be a good title.
Oh, I just read my bottom of my notes. It says, kiss my ass, Ryan.
Can we book a better guest next time? Because that was just awful.
Oh.
Is Sarah still there? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing is while these questions worked great for you this week, it's going to be really awkward when we ask these same questions to next week's guests.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Better Hit the Mat, which is the official name of this podcast, and not what I've been promoting it on other networks as, is Better Get on the Mat, which isn't a thing. It's not a thing. As ever, I'm joined by Ryan, Tom, and Travis. And
am I the only one that doesn't hear anything right now?
Yeah.